This show is called Trailblazing Women. What does that phrase mean, a female trailblazer?
Well, when they arrived in Hollywood or when they started filmmaking, there was no path to follow. They got out there and created their own path. You know, trailblazing usually means starting out that whole beginning, but more important, it was the whole beginning of the entire movie industry. Women were there at the very beginning.
And that's what's so amazing, is that they were literally trailblazers, and yet somehow they've been edited out of the film history, and that's what's so exciting about tonight. We're going to learn about so many of these female directors.
Exactly. I mean, these women did everything, right? I mean, they ran the home, they took care of their family, they had the children, they made the movies.
Yeah. So now we're going to be talking about someone you know a lot about, Frances Marion.
Well, she came from San Francisco, raised very upper class in the sense that at her dinner table might be Jack London, Caruso. Her family was very well off until the 1906 earthquake. And her father's properties were devastated. So she had to stop going to the private schools and the art school that she was going to at the time. And she went to work as an artist, as a model for the photographer Arnold Genth, and as a reporter in San Francisco. And in 1912, she went down to Los Angeles to be a portrait painter for theaters, for Morosco Theater. And it was there she caught the movie bug. Her friend Marie Dressler, who she'd interviewed in San Francisco, she ran into down there, and Marie said, "It's like a cement mixer. You just got to jump on in, get into these movies." So she became determined to do just that. And her friend Adela Rogers St. John's introduced Frances to Lois Weber. In fact, at the time, Frances's name was Marion Benson Owens, and she went to see Lois, and she said, "My passion is writing. I want to write." And Lois said, "Fine, I'll let you do whatever, but I'm signing you as an actress."
I see.
And gave her the name Frances Marion, refined type, age 19, even though she was, I think, 23 at the time.
And possibly her biggest contribution is her friendship with Mary Pickford and that collaboration.
She met Mary in 1914, and they very quickly became best friends. One behind the camera, one in front.
And didn't she insist for the film that we're going to see that Frances Marion be the director?
Yes, Frances in 1917 enlisted to go overseas and make films about women's contributions to the World War. And she agreed to do one last film with Mary called Joanna and Liz, where Mary tells you, "Don't come back till you've taken the germ out of Germany," you know. So that's their last picture together. But it's filmed out near San Diego with a full armament of real Army infantrymen. And in the process, Mary Pickford introduces the Army chaplain, Fred Thompson, to Frances Marion. And as Frances would say, if I wrote this, it would be thrown out, but it was love at first sight. And of course, during this time, Mary Pickford, who's also married to someone else at the time, is madly in love with Douglas Fairbanks. So cut to the chase. In November of 1919, Frances and Fred marry, with Mary Pickford as the maid of honor, of course, in New York. And then they take off for a European honeymoon. Early 1920, Mary and Doug marry, finally. Their divorces are finally taken care of. They join Fred and Frances on their European honeymoon. And it was there that they discussed the love light. And Frances told Mary of this story that she had heard while they were in Italy. And it starts to bubble up, as Mary says, that's the next movie I want to do. I want to do a movie where I'm married, where I have a child. I'm a married woman now. I want to play a more sophisticated woman on the screen.
I want to transition from
the girl with the curls.
Exactly.
Yeah, that waif, etc. And by then, Mary has got the power to determine, and has had for several years, her own screenwriter, whoever she wants, to make her films.
Right.
And so they decided not only to make The Love Light, but to make Mary's co-star Frances's new husband, Fred Thompson.
Well, of course. Women stick together. Okay, so from 1921, starring Mary Pickford and written and directed by Frances Marion, here is The Love Light.